Let's talk about smartphones, specifically the giant flagship smartphones, the ones that are 6.8 inches or 6.9 inches or whatever, and how insane things are getting. And the fact that we do need smaller flagships, and I feel like smaller flagships are gonna be a thing in the future, just because of the fact that as great as the big screens are for viewing content on these giant phones, it's a pain to use. I mean, at the end of the day, these phones are something that we're gonna be carrying around in our pocket, and a lot of the time we're gonna be using them one-handed for one-handed purposes, like watching reels, messaging, using the camera, making calls if anyone actually makes calls these days, all that stuff. And that all that is seriously compromised. Well, maybe not the reals, but still, if you like you're holding your phone one-handed, it's probably still compromised. Just because of the fact that, I mean, these phones are really big. You need your entire hand to just hold it, and if you want to use it, you're gonna end up having to use your second hand. It's really difficult to stretch your fingers to use the phone to different corners. And people were willing to put up with it just to get the big screen because phones were everyone's main media device for a long time now. I mean, that's why the big phone trend took off and everyone loved it. They had a big media device in their pocket. But I feel like that trend's probably gonna be dying down soon. Just because of the fact that, well, people have started using tablets a lot more. I mean, the tablets have gotten good enough that people are willing to use them for media consumption. And smart TVs have gotten really good and cheap. There are a lot of cheaper options of smart TVs, so there are alternatives now. And if you think about it, I mean, would you rather watch media on a big screen phone, or would you rather watch it on a tablet or on a TV? And sure, when you're traveling, you'll probably watch stuff on your phone. But come on, how often do you travel where you have so much time that you can just keep watching videos? Unless you're completely obsessed with watching videos and you watch them whenever you go out of the house. Yeah, so most of the time, unless you're on a flight or just traveling in a car for a long time or on a train, you don't really need to you don't really watch big videos like that. You do all this other stuff, the scrolling videos, the messaging, the camera, all that stuff. And because of that, you don't really need a big screen phone. And when you get home, that's when you usually have a lot of free time to do this stuff. And if you get home, well, if you have a giant TV, and giant TV that's a smart TV that you can watch all your streaming services and YouTube and all that stuff on, why would you need a phone? I mean, would you really watch it on a phone? I don't think so. And even if you have a tablet, you're gonna watch it on the tablet because it's just a better screen. I mean, media is much better the bigger the screen gets. Let's face it. The big phone is just a compromise that we were willing to deal with, so we can get access to the media. And because of that, I feel like small flagships need to exist. Overall, smaller phones need to exist, not just the flagships. Because I feel like there is going to be a market for that now, and we really should focus on it. And the point of the smartphone was do everything thing in your pocket. But now it's become so big that you cannot really do everything, and it was supposed to be a one-handed device. I feel like that's how the smartphone concept was first came about. But now it's a two-hand device, and how big are you gonna get? I mean, just look at how big the phones are gotten, and the fact that they actually stopped getting bigger. Because even the manufacturers, I think, know that after a certain size, people are just not gonna be willing to put up with it. I mean, we haven't really seen a 7-inch smart flagship or any other smartphones or 7+ inches and something like that. They seem to be stopped at 6.8 inches roughly. And the fact that there are still smaller flagship phones around kind of proves that there is a market for it. I mean, when you look at the iPhones, there's always a regular one and a Pro one that's smaller. Now, if people wouldn't buy those phones, there would be no reason for Apple to make them. And the fact that they are still making them and they make them for a long time kind of proves that there is a market for that. Now, the iPhone mini, well, that was a bit too small and it had too many compromises, but still, the regular ones do have potential. And I feel like every brand should focus on making a smaller flagship. And I don't mean a cut down flagship, a full fledged flagship. Like the current iPhone is I think the current iPhone Pro, the Pro and the Pro Max, the specs are exactly the same. The only thing difference is the screen size and the battery. But when you look at the other flagships, there are stuff that are cut down for the smaller version, and that needs to change. The smaller versions need to be need to be much more like a flagship. Now there might be some constraints on that, but still, it needs to look like a flagship and be a hardcore flagship. That's what we need. So I'm really hoping that small flagships do make a comeback. And I feel like up to 6.3 inches, that's good enough. The screen's good enough. The battery life will probably be good enough. And yeah, that seems like the right size. Now, 6.1 inches is super great. I mean, it's completely one-handable. But 6.3, I think it's a sweet spot between having a big enough screen and not being too hard to use in the hand. So let's hope that small phones do come back. And I also feel like they are going to make a comeback, because I feel like the entire media watching experience is about to change